Hello, this is Don Milne. I'm making this recording to show you some examples of the current versions of the smartphone apps that we have available to use with the stories that our volunteers are writing. So one version is created by Find a Grave, and Fold3 is a sister organization of Ancestry along with Find a Grave. So it works with the existing Find a Grave smartphone app as of December of 2021. So if you have an earlier version of the Find a Grave smartphone app, it doesn't have this feature until you upgrade it. It works anytime you have a Find a Grave URL listed as a source on a Fold3 memorial. So there's a tab on Fold3 memorials where you list your sources. So if you list the URL of the Find a Grave web page that matches with the Fold3 memorial, if you put that on Fold3 under sources, then when you use the Find a Grave smartphone app, it'll link to the Fold3 story. If you don't have that in there, it doesn't know to look, and you won't find the Fold3 story as part of Find a Grave. So we only knew that that's how they were going to do things in December. So many of us, if we didn't have the URL, it's not going to work on existing stories unless we go back and add that URL. I'll talk a little bit later about this future version that would allow geolocation and what that means. Here we have a Find a Grave smartphone app, and I've already put the information in earlier so I could do this faster. So I put the information, I searched for it. It already has a Find a Grave page, so it pulls it up on the smartphone app, and under other records, it now has the Fold3 page linked to it, because on the Fold3 record, we had the URL listed for the Find a Grave page. So when you open this up, it takes you to what you normally see when you first open a Fold3 page, which is the tab with the facts about the fallen. So that's what you'll see up front on first view. But just as you can on the computer, when you access it that way, you can select the tab that says Stories. Here you can see the story that one of our Stories Behind the Stars volunteers wrote about James Vaughn, who died on D-Day as one of the Rangers. So that's what it looks like right now. I promised I'd talk a little bit about the future version of the Find a Grave app. So what they're planning on doing is, because both Fold3 and Find a Grave are now linked, and because Find a Grave has a geolocation for the actual grave sites in most cases, if your smartphone is in the cemetery and you have the Find a Grave app open, it should list the names of the people that are close by to where you're standing. So that's what we're hoping that this app will evolve into at some point in the future. Don't have an exact date, but that'll make it easier so you don't have to type in names and other information to try to find a fallen story in a gravesite, but they'll pop up at you as you get close to them because of the geolocation. Let's talk about the Together We Serve version of the smartphone app. The current version displays the Together We Serve Roll of Honor. It's divided out as the Roll of Honor is on the computer, with the branches separate. So we're hoping at some point in the future that you'll be able to do a combined search. So you can just start by typing in a name, and it doesn't matter if they were in the Marines or the Air Force or Army or Navy, Coast Guard, you'll be able to search for all of them at one time. Right now you have to first identify the branch they're in before you can do the search. And I'll talk a little bit later about some additional programming that we might be able to do with this. So here we have the Together We Serve version of the smartphone app. So you first had to select the branch they were in. So we're looking for some of the Navy. Then we select that they're fallen. And to make it a little bit faster, we can identify them by era. So we're picking World War II era, which automatically only searches between 41 and 45. And then we can type in the person's name. So right now we're looking for an individual by the name of Howard Merrill. So we put that information in, and it pulls up his short version of the Roll of Honor, but then you push full service history, and you see all the information that you would normally do with the full service view of the Roll of Honor. But it's super nice looking on a smartphone. And what we're hoping to have happen at some point, if we can get some additional programming done, is we'd like to add some sort of character recognition with the camera of a smartphone. So if you were by Howard Merrill's memorial in his gravesite, you could pull up your smartphone with the camera and read the character, and the character would say, I recognize that name, it matches with the cemetery, it matches with the story on Together We Serve, and it would pull up that way. So that's not available yet. That's kind of our hope at some point. But either way, we've got smartphone apps that are working right now in an early version so that any of the stories you write will work on smartphones at gravesites and memorials. Thanks so much for your help.